Good evening and welcome to Ireland election night for the month of July 2022. I am your host this evening, Dina Heathcote, and I am joined here by two very lovely gentlemen who are much more knowledgeable than me. But very shortly we will see the exit poll, which will give us an indication as to how the people of this island have voted in this general election. I believe that will come on the screen very shortly for us to analyse and see if it was accurate. Oh. Welcome back. I hope that introduction was flashy enough for you. But yes, the exit poll results are in very much momentarily. It'll be on the screen probably in just a few seconds. Let's see what we are predicting. And there you have it. Sinn Féin are expected to be the largest party in the Dáil Éireann, with 10 seats. We have the Labour Party, led by Tom Whitaker, with 3 seats there. We have also Fianna Fáil with 2 seats, the same amount of seats as the Social Democrats, but we've got Fine Gael with 4 seats there, led by Victoria. That is what we are projecting will be the result of this general election. We are predicting, in effect, that Sinn Féin are the most likely to form a government now. So there you have it. That is what we are predicting. Now, over the course of tonight, we will bring you several interviews, various politicians from various political parties, but we will first of all go to whoever the hell we have gathered here for just a quick analysis on the result there, because, I mean, that shattered my expectations of this election, for sure. Sorry, that was a fire engine outside. That was loud. Anyway, apologies for that. We will have our first interview lined up, where we will have a representative from Fianna Fáil, the man who we know as Frank Carusi, who is a representative from Fianna Fáil. He will be joining us in the next 2 minutes, but until then, by the time within those 2 minutes, of course, here's a model who is now appearing on your screens and has just staged invaded our studio, but that's completely okay. It's Irish tradition at this point. But yeah, some comments from myself on that exit poll before we bring on Mr. Carusi. Yeah, that's actually kind of shocking. I didn't actually expect Sinn Féin to pull that many seats. But yeah, that's quite a shocking result there. The Labour Party, which came into this election, I think, quite determined, are only going to return 3 seats right after they've been in government for the last 2 months, of course, under the leadership of Taoiseach Lucy Quattick. But yes, we will bring on the representative from Fianna Fáil now, who I hope someone will move him into our communications array so we can speak to him. I believe we have established our connection with him. Can you hear us, sir? Are you with us at all? Make sure your microphone's turned on. Okay, I don't believe he can hear us, or we can't hear him. It's one of the two. Or it's got to be one of the two. Unless, of course, somebody has muted him as a prank. Could always be that. Can you hear us, Tim? I believe we do not have our connection with the representative from Fianna Fáil, but that's alright. We have interviews with a variety of other people, unless, of course, we've re-established it. Can you hear us, my friend? At all? I don't believe we have him yet, although if we do manage to establish connection to him, we will bring him on later on in the show. However, we do have a comment. We will have a comment.
And our apologies for that. This is just the controller of the stream right now. Seems like we're having some slight technical difficulties here at our broadcasting facility. We're trying to get connection straightened out. Our apologies for the issues.
Yeah, so I think there's plenty of things I can say about the most shocking thing is obviously that Miguel is ahead of Labour. I don't think anyone expected that to happen to people. The Sinn Féin shirt third wasn't very surprising to me. I didn't see Labour put on as strong of a fight as they could have, but it happens, it happens. I definitely think after being in government for a term, it's hard to then get that new energy to rush into another term. If this exit poll is correct, of course, we could be talking about an exit poll that's entirely incorrect, and there could be results here coming in that don't reflect it at all. And that wouldn't surprise me one bit, if I'm being honest. Exit polls have been wrong in the past. But to be fair, Ireland has had its particular share of exit polls that are right on the money. And so now I'm sat here, I'm looking at this, and I think, okay, Michael McGrath is going to be the next Taoiseach, almost certainly. I think the question for him is if he's going to get a majority or not, and I think the question for the opposition parties is if what the government will be, who is going to be backing Sinn Féin. I think we've known for a very long time that Sinn Féin is the odd one out of the five parties. No one wants to do a deal with Sinn Féin, barring Fianna Fáil sometimes, though Fianna Fáil hasn't always been very fond of Sinn Féin either. So it's an uncomfortable situation if Michael doesn't get that majority, if he's not going to be getting that 11th seat. I think the exit poll was just on 10. That's a big deal. That's a big deal because you need the full 11 to get the confidence, and you need the full 11 to be the Taoiseach, to get your cabinet in and to survive those motions of confidence. And we've learned time and time again that minorities do not work. Minorities will never work. We've had a minority government fall every time one is formed. So Sinn Féin is going to have to do a deal with someone, and what that other party is going to get. Let's say Fianna Fáil make that deal with Sinn Féin. What are they going to get? What are they going to take from Sinn Féin? Because we all know Sinn Féin's a bit of an insular group. They like to work with one another, but they have not always been the best at working with others. And how that dynamic would play out in a coalition would be interesting to watch, to say the least. And also for Fianna Fáil, they're on the 2 seats now, which that's a big thing for them. That's a big deal for them, I'd say. Getting a second seat would be a victory for them because they've really just been idling in last place for the last decade. It feels like of the entirety of Irish politics, they just get the designated last party, and if they get that second seat, they'd be at least competing for third place.
Definitely. Yes, I do believe we have the first declarations coming in right now, so I'm going to bounce over to Biruk with those declarations.
Thanks, Dean. We have the first declaration of the evening now. We're going to start in Ulster. We have a Sinn Féin seat in Ulster that's a hole for Sinn Féin. They managed to keep that seat in the last election, the election before last, and the October election, I believe. So that's the first declaration. In Connacht, we have a Fine Gael. I don't know if it's Gain or not. Let me see. It's a hold for Fine Gael and Connacht. We have a seat for them there. We move over to the map now. We're also getting in Dublin North. We have a Sinn Féin seat. Let me check if that's a gain or what. Is a Sinn Féin hold. We also have Fine Gael in Dublin South with a hold there. So we move to the map now. We can see the net has put them there.
Very lovely map you've got over there, Lynn. I presume that is over there. Yes, that's Lynn. Pointing. Thank you. Right, so there you have it. We've had 4 counts there come in, 2 seats for Sinn Féin and 2 for Fine Gael, which is definitely a good start for both of those parties, I would say. Connor, do you have any thoughts about those first results very quickly at all?
Well, they don't seem to indicate anything particularly surprising. At least the Fine Gael seats. At least show what I would say is that the only significant change here would be the Sinn Féin seat in Dublin North. That's a fairly big shift for them, since that was a seat previously, or a constituency previously won by Labour in the last general election, if I'm correct. But otherwise, Fine Gael topping the polls in Dublin South and in Connacht. Those are both good things for them, though they're not. It's no sign of Fine Gael's surge, of course. It's a sign of them performing well where they're supposed to perform well. If I'm Vicky, I'm not thrilled. Unless Vicky is just happy with getting seats. But if Vicky was looking to be Taoiseach, I wouldn't take this as any sign of a miracle from God. I guess it's they're performing where they're supposed to perform well. It'd be like saying the Labour Party is performing well in Leinster. Like, that's kind of how it's supposed to go.
Definitely. I've just had leaked to me a Labour Party group chat. It's obviously edited, but honestly, I think it's the only. It's definitely faked, but honestly, I do like the line here, Valor the Defector. Very, very funny line, very humorous. No, we will not put it on the screen. But no, we are going to move on. Hopefully, we can re-establish our connection with Frank from earlier, because he is on a time crunch and we have interviews to do. So if we can bring him here, that would be splendid, although we don't have to, because we tried twice already. I believe I'm being told we're not. Okay, well, that's fair. We're bringing on someone else, however, someone who is often reliable for these things. We have a representative from the Social Democrats, I believe, Potato Cure, if that is correct. Potato, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Very lovely. Hello there, Potato.
Hello.
So you've seen the exit poll. Can I get your initial thoughts on that very quickly?
Well, it reminds me of when I was leader of the Social Democrats. I won 2 seats in the election. Yeah.
And are you confident that the Social Democrats will outperform the exit poll at all?
I think that will probably get more seats, because the leader, he's done a lot more better campaigning than I did when I was leader. So I think we will get more seats than the exit poll has suggested.
And assuming the results are, or the exit poll is true, assuming that is the results that we receive tonight, can you tell us at all what parties the Social Democrats would be willing to work with? Would they be willing to work with Sinn Féin in a coalition government, or would they work with other parties instead? Who are you ruling out and who are you not, essentially?
Personally, I can't say that it's not really my shout to be ruling out anyone. I'll leave that up to our leader, and I think he's very competent to do that himself.
And an additional question that I have as well is the Social Democrats have obviously been campaigning throughout the week, and one thing I actually want to ask you is a question that isn't often asked on election night, which is, if the Social Democrats do enter a coalition government, whether it is with Sinn Féin or with Labour and some other parties, if the exit poll is through to what we've seen, or if that becomes the result, what would be the major deal breakers for the Social Democrats in a coalition government? What would be on the table? What would be off the table in regards to positions or policy?
You know, to be fair, I really couldn't say this because when I was last in a coalition, we got two Minister of State positions. My co-leader Victoria, she wasn't very happy about that. I think we got Minister of State for Defence and Minister of State for Culture. That was probably the worst coalition deal in the whole Irish politics history. So I'm not really good with coalition deals, so I don't don't have a clue.
I do apologise, Potato. I do have to cut you off. We are about to get the next lot of declarations and counts coming in now, so we will quickly bounce to Biruk. Do stay with us, however, because we do want your reaction to what we're about to see. Off to you, Biruk. Biruk, are you with us? You're sitting next to me. Yeah. No, it doesn't seem like he's... Oh, well, guess I'll do it instead. So I can tell everybody that in Meath, Sinn Féin have got themselves a seat, as well as in Dublin. No results have come in yet for Dublin South, but in Leinster we have Labour picking up a seat for themselves, and Sinn Féin have picked up an additional 2 seats tonight in Shannon and Munster. So that would put Sinn Féin on, I believe, if my maths is correct here, 6 seats total within the first 2 counts here that we are getting, or rather the first few counts. And Labour, obviously, on 1, Fine Gael on 2. Potato, can we get your reaction to that?
Well, I think Sinn Féin are on their way to winning it, as it seems. I can't tell much with the small amount of seats, but it does look quite good for them.
Definitely. I will quickly go over to Connor for his running commentary of what is happening tonight, if he's available, that is. He doesn't have to, he's not legally obliged to give us any comments, but go ahead.
Contract requires me to give at least 2 bits of commentary per seat declaration. But no, looking at this, I'm definitely saying the Sinn Féin's come first. You look, for people who aren't too familiar with the Irish system, if you look at these constituencies, not the provinces, the constituencies rather, the party that has the first declaration is the party that has won that, broader constituency, though of course in Ireland constituencies elect more than one representative, more than one Choctadala. So of course you're going to have multiple people, and it doesn't say that they want all 3 or whatever, but Sinn Féin is tough to hold in Munster, Shannon, Meath now, typically in Ulster, and in Dublin North. That's a sign that they've come first. Very, very assuredly they've come first. And parties that top that many constituencies typically, now I'm saying typically, also do so with a pretty hefty swing. They're not going to lose all the other seats. So I do think we're on course to have an accurate exit poll, especially if I'm in the Labour camp right now. If I'm Tom Whitaker, I'm sat there, I'm just going to think, okay, I'm getting ready for opposition. I'm going to start figuring out who from my cabinet gets a seat. Because, again, looking at this result, looking at this map, it is not clear to me what my path to victory is. At best, what he could be hoping for right now is that Sinn Féin gets 1 or 2 more seats, and Fine Gael and Labour can eat up enough to do a deal with the Social Democrats to sneak in a coalition like has been done before. I mean, it wouldn't be impossible. It happened to Kenny a few times when he was running for Sinn Féin. He lost a seat, or he lost the Taoiseach seat because Labour and Fine Gael would do a deal, Labour and the Social Democrats would do a deal, something like that. So again, if I'm Tom Whitaker or Victoria O'Cahane, I'm definitely kind of prepared for opposition, but I might keep those doors open if we see that little opening emerge. But again, it's a thin opening right now for Tom Whitaker. And I look forward to seeing what their WhatsApp group chats are going to be telling us. But also, I have another thing I'd like to mention, just looking at the results there.
Go ahead.
I'm particularly interested in the Dublin North results already because, I don't know, Dublin North has always been a telltale sign. It's been the kind of bellwether constituency in Ireland.
So you were saying?
Because if you look at, Dublin North, you've seen, in Ireland we're typically a left-wing country. Most of our parties are on the left wing. We have the Shinners, the Soc Dems, and Labour. Our three biggest parties traditionally are all on the left. And Dublin North is a bit of a swing constituency for the left. Dublin North is that working class neighbourhood. Rather, working class neighbourhoods. So you're looking at this and you're seeing Sinn Féin dominate in what should traditionally be a swing constituency. Again, that's just a bellwether to me. That's just a signal that Sinn Féin is having a good night. And because, like I said, Labour winning that seat in Leinster, if they did win that seat in Leinster, I'd be surprised if they won any seats at all. Leinster has never been lost by the Labour Party. It's the same thing. Ulster and Leinster have never been traded between another party. Ulster has always been a Shinner constituency, and Leinster has always been a Labour constituency, and the Labour Party can thank the Teachers' Union in Wexford for that. But no, that's just Wexford is always a traditional Labour hotspot in real life, and that's where that comes from. But no, I'm looking at this. If I'm a Social Democrat, I wouldn't be as optimistic as Potato was. I would be a bit concerned because they haven't won a constituency. That's a good thing to see. All the constituencies have had their first counts. There's been no declaration in favor of a Social Democrat so far, which just means that they're definitely not anywhere between first and third. Usually, first, second, and third would be dominated by the parties that win constituencies. Top the polls in constituencies rather. From there, it's a matter of just trying to identify, okay, where am I falling in the pecking order? According to the exit poll, the Social Democrats might not be that far off from Fianna Fáil, which would be disastrous. Fianna Fáil is just typically a small party, like I said, and if the Social Democrats were to fall behind them, I do think that would be disastrous for them. But yeah, moving it back to you then.
Thank you very much, Connor, for that extended comment. We do have another count coming in, actually, just as you finished. Hopefully, is Spirit going to be? He's not. So he's fallen asleep, and we don't wake up the president when he sleeps. But I will read out the count instead. It seems that in Connacht, we've had Sinn Féin pick up a seat. Oh,
back.
Yeah. We have had Sinn Féin pick up a seat in Connacht here. Additionally, in Shannon, they've also picked up a seat, but also Fine Gael have picked up 2 seats of their own in Dublin South and in Leinster, meaning that total count, I believe that Sinn Féin 8, Fine Gael 4, Labour 1, with no other party, the other 2 parties being Fianna Fáil and the Social Democrats, picking up a single seat yet, which definitely adding onto Connor's comments earlier that the Social Democrats should be perhaps a little bit worried right now and maybe not too optimistic at their electoral prospects right now, but it does seem like Sinn Féin have a pretty sturdy lead there, a 4-seat lead in fact, so far into the race. We do have a representative of Sinn Féin who is going to give some comments and some opinions what's been unfolding tonight. Hopefully we can establish a connection. Can you hear us, Spacey?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, sorry, Jamie is your name. Need to correct myself on that. Hello there. So, quick question I have to you, Jamie, is you've seen the exit poll, you've seen the current results, your party is on 8 seats, you're only 2 away from what the exit poll has been predicting you. Are you confident that Sinn Féin will form a government tonight?
Personally, I think it is possible, yeah. Considering what we've seen so far, it's astonishing how much support Sinn Féin's gotten in this election, as well as inside the exit poll. It's just amazing. So I definitely think, yeah, there is a chance that we could probably reach the same.
And the same question I asked the Social Democrat representative Potato Cure earlier, can you tell us at all what parties Sinn Féin would be sort of looking to work with? Because we know Connor gave the comment earlier that Sinn Féin have often sort of historically not had sort of plenty of coalition partners. They usually work with sort of Fianna Fáil. But can you give us any insight as to who Sinn Féin would be willing to work with if they don't get a majority tonight?
I'm not really that sure. I think probably they make a coalition with, let's say, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, but it's hard to know now because considering how much votes gotten so far. But you just have to wait and see, I guess. It's unsure.
Definitely. And additionally, sort of on the same vein of looking at the results and whatnot, are you confident that you will exceed the exit poll at all? Do you think that you will get sort of upwards of 11 seats tonight, or do you think it will be around 10 or 9, considering the party's already on 8 seats right now?
I think we could probably reach about 10. If it reaches over 10, it's pretty much astonishing, considering like how much has been going on, what's been going on recently.
Definitely. And yeah, that is all the questions I can think of before my brain melts. Connor, do you have any questions to our representative at all? You're a member of this panel, you're allowed.
I guess my biggest question is, how do you think Sinn Féin would fare in a coalition with Fianna Fáil or with anyone else? Perhaps, maybe a party on the left might want to break the stigma now that Sinn Féin has come first in another general election, the third general election in a row. Sinn Féin has come first, and maybe these other parties that have traditionally ostracised Sinn Féin might want to stop ostracising them. And so my question to you is, out of all the parties, how do you think Sinn Féin would fare in a coalition with each of them? Particularly thinking of the personalities in each party, I guess, the more specific part of that.
Pretty unsure about that one, to be honest. It's a lot of parties to choose from. All the parties. It's pretty hard to choose like what one you probably want to have a coalition with or whatever you want to have with them. I'm not too sure about that, to be honest. Just what I think.
Fair point. It's a hard thing, and we'll find out most of that when the coalition comes to its end, if it ever happens. We'll find out how that plays out over the time.
I want to really hear half of that.
Definitely. But yeah, thank you very much, Jamie, for your. We might bring you on later if I believe he is having dinner right now. But thank you for your comments.
Okay, thanks. Come on, Sinn Féin!
He's energetic. But yes, I believe we will actually, before the next count or during, depending on when it comes in, we will quickly hear the thoughts of the Social Democrat representative, Potato Cure, because as we can currently see, it's not looking too good, Chief. Potato Cure, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Rightio. So you've seen the results so far.
Yeah.
Your party is not making any gains right now, not got a seat yet. What are your thoughts on that? Have you got any comments so far?
Well, if the exit poll is correct and we do get 2 seats, Sinn Féin won't have a majority, and even if they do coalition with us or Fianna Fáil, they'll only have a majority of 12, which is 1 seat over a majority. But that does mean if one TD doesn't turn up to a session of the Dáil, there's a potential that when it comes to the nomination of a Taoiseach, that it won't pass.
And actually, on that vein, on that comment you've just made, is that possibly an indication that the Social Democrats are going to rely on low attendance if they're in government or outside of government in opposition? Because the comment of they only need, like, if they have one less TD, they're not gonna pass their nomination. Is that going to be the Social Democrat strategy?
It really depends on if the exit poll is correct. Because if we do only get 2 spots in the Doyle, I'm sure that the Gigan will pick many, 2 good active TDs.
Mm-hmm. So I am just making sure that my connection is not gone here at RTE headquarters. We will move on to the next lot of counts here that are just about to come in. Sorry to cut you off, Potato.
Okay.
We will quickly see what the result is going to be. Don't know how many. I think this will be the next 4 counts. Hopefully, or at least we're going to be seeing 4 seats, and they have just come in here actually. And I think you might like this, Potato. We are seeing in Ulster that Sinn Féin have gotten a seat. That is to be expected. It is a Sinn Féin area, or a Sinn Féin stronghold. In Meath, the Social Democrats have picked up their first seat of the night, meaning that the Social Democrats have a total of 1 seat so far. Dublin North has gone to the Labour Party, and Munster has gone to Sinn Féin, meaning that Sinn Féin have reached what the exit poll has predicted them at seats. The Social Democrats are only 1 away from their exit poll prediction, being 2 seats, although standing on 1. And Labour, I believe from earlier, I think they were predicted to be on 3 seats, but they are currently standing on 2. So, Potato, you've gained a seat for your party. How do you feel?
Well, it's in Meath, which has last election was a Social Democrat. We did have a seat in Meath, so I think that maybe if we have if we hold another seat, or if we gain 2 seats, it might be quite good, because we had a seat in Dublin, we had one in Meath, and I can't remember where the other one was, but we had 3 seats. So I think if we could hold all of them, I think we will be in Sinn Féin's, or whoever gets the small majority will be in their arrangement of choices to form a majority government with.
Radio, thank you very much, Potato. We might bring you back if the Social Democrats get another seat, hopefully. But yeah, see you soon. Yes, lovely. We will bring on a representative from Fianna Fáil very soon, the Frank man from earlier, who had to go for dinner, but that is a normal human thing to do. In the meantime, though, let's just quickly recap what the results are. Sinn Féin have reached their exit poll prediction of 10 seats now, and the Labour Party is currently standing on a total of 2 seats. Fine Gael, I believe, are on a total of 4 seats themselves, very early on into the race that they did gain those, with the Social Democrats now getting a seat for themselves, and the Labour Party now standing on 2 seats. That is the way the race stands now. It seems that Fianna Fáil have yet to make a gain of their own. However, everything is still up in the air. We don't know how it will go. For all we know, they could gain every other seat that is remaining. The elections can go mad sometimes. But we will bring on a representative from Fianna Fáil now, who will be joining us. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello there, welcome. So, you're aware of the results so far, I hope.
Yeah,
your
it's
party...
fucked, man. It's absolutely fucked. But it's alright, we'll get through it. It's all gonna go good. Just gotta have faith, you know.
Right, yes, your party hasn't made a gain yet. The night isn't over, of course, but you've not made any gains yet. What are your thoughts on that, other than
I think
those preliminary comments?
I think the issue is, I don't know. I think we did a lot of campaigning near the end. I feel like we could have done more at the start of it, because I know, like, even 2 weeks beforehand, Sinn Féin were campaigning because Michael asked me to vote for them. So yeah, I think we could have started a bit earlier, and yeah.
Definitely. So the other question I have for you is, historically, it has been seen that Sinn Féin and Fianna Fáil do tend to work together in government. Assuming that your party does gain a seat tonight and Sinn Féin don't reach a majority, would Fianna Fáil be willing to work with Sinn Féin in government?
But that's up to Des. If it helps Fianna Fáil, I can see it happening, but I don't really know. I really dislike Sinn Féin, so I'm quite anti-Sinn Féin, so I'm the wrong guy to talk to you about, but I can see Des supporting it, yeah.
That's fair. Connor, do you have any questions for our representative?
Yeah, so I think the biggest question I'd have
Oh
is
my gosh, wait, are you a woman? Or a guy?
I'm a man.
Oh, my bad, sorry. Oh, fuck.
God bless your heart.
Sorry. I'm really sorry.
You're fine, don't worry a bit. My question relates to the internal dynamics of Fianna Fáil. I find it to be an interesting party how Des does really run the party, but from outside the Oireachtas. What is the mood in Fianna Fáil about this kind of dynamic? We've never seen this in Ireland other than Des. Would you prefer Des to be in the door, or maybe even in the Shannon, leading the country, or do you like that he's on the outside, being more of a mentor figure almost, giving other people?
Well, Des, I mean, he's quite old now. I'm pretty sure he has a job, a girlfriend, and all that. But so I mean, there are times where his activity drops, and I think he might take that into consideration because he's quite wise about it all. Because but I think, I mean, he'd make a great Taoiseach. He has the experience, maybe not in this Ireland, but in many stuff. I'm not sure, to be honest. It's up to him. I don't really know. I think to be honest, I think he would probably take the chance. But honestly, he's kind of on the outside right now, and yeah, he kind of just flits in and out, helping out. I don't know.
Definitely. I'm sorry. Anyway, I apologise for my laughter. But yeah, I do believe we have the next count has actually just come in, and I do want our representative to stay on for a reason that you'll see very shortly. We can say now that in Meath, the Social Democrats have made yet another gain here, so they are now on 2 seats. That's the running total for them. But not only that, they've made a third acquisition of a seat.
Oh, that's absolutely fucked.
But hey, hold on, you haven't let me finish yet. Because in Munster, Fianna Fáil have made a gain of their own here, or a whole.
Yeah!
I can see you're very ecstatic, Frank. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, it's good.
Alright, I don't know what the saddest part is. That is...
I expected Fianna Fáil to get 3 seats this election. I'm a bit disappointed, but I'm more shocked at the fact Social Democrats have even gotten a seat, because I don't see them doing much, to be honest.
I don't know what the saddest part is, whether the fact that you cheered at 1 seat, or the fact that that's going to be going to Destroyer and not you.
You know what? What?
I don't know. Yeah, he actually might give the seat to someone else. I don't know. Usually, pie leaders take up the seats, though. Anyway, be weird if they didn't. But yes, you're very happy about that. I can see. But we will have the full results shown up on the screen now, as people can see.
Oh wait.
What?
Does that mean Fianna Fáil got 1 seat?
Yeah, Fianna Fáil have 1 seat, as you can see. We have Fine Gael on 4 seats, the Labour Party on only 2.
Oh, you know what? Here's the problem with Fine Gael. They go say they're conservative, but they have actually no policies. I've yet to see them make a single policy. It's all lies. It's all because this woman has some...
Thank you very much,
woman has some...
Frank. That is wonderful. Thank you very much. But as you can see on your screens now, the result will compare to the election poll shortly. We've got Fianna Fáil on 1 seat, Fianna Party on 2, Sinn Féin on 10, and the Social Democrats on 3. Now, as you can see on the exit poll, which is also shown on your screens, the Social Democrats were predicted 2. They've outperformed that by 1. Sinn Féin right on the dot, 10. The Labour Party underperforming by 1 seat. Wonder how they're feeling in Labour Party headquarters right now. I'm sure we'll hear quite a lot about that in the coming hours. We've also got Fine Gael, who have also hit it right on the nail with 4 seats, and Fianna Fáil with 1 seat, obviously, in actuality, but the exit poll predicted them at 2, so they have fallen short by 50%. That is the full results there. I'm going to go to Connor now because my throat is sore. Connor, what do you think about the results?
Well, sure, that's Mrs. Novak to you, sir.
Oh yeah, sorry, Mrs. Novak.
But no, I was correct from the very beginning. All of my predictions were right, as always. That might have been because I was the one counting the votes. Who will ever know? But no. Yeah, this makes sense. Though I've got to say, compared to how I was looking at everything on Tuesday or Wednesday compared to today, I am really shocked. I would have thought this would have been a Labour Sinn Féin close race, but Labour's come third. That's surprising to me. I mean, in terms of of course they are going from a relatively unproductive government to third place. That doesn't surprise me. But they had 2 juggernauts as leader and deputy leader, and that wasn't able to sway the arrow a bit. Wasn't able to sway, which is just God bless them. Though the Social Democrats have held on to their 3 seats, frankly, if I'm a Social Democrat, I'm thanking the High God Lord for that, because I know it's not necessarily a true thing to say, but for the Social Democrats, 3 seats is good in this election because of how high the turnout was. Holding on to those votes as everything else was in flux means a lot. I think this was a very important realignment election for the Social Democrats, and they have new people. They are re-establishing their existing people. I think in the next election, I'm going to be looking at Fine Gael and the Social Democrats because they are the ones best poised from this evening. Though, as for the upcoming term, I don't think it's going to be anything other than a Sinn Féin Fianna Fáil coalition. If it is, I'm going to hope to God that Des takes a seat at least in the Shannon, because a party leader not involved in a coalition government will irk my brain to the moon. A last comment for the evening, other than the fact that I guess I've been assigned a new gender on this program, is that I hope Tom Whittaker sticks it out in opposition, because I want to fucking see Tom Whittaker on the third party benches, ripping the government and opposition to shreds. He will go for both Vicky and Michael and incinerate them. And those will make for very good sessions. Those will make for some very fun moments. But my hope here is that Labour doesn't drift into inactivity after this, because my fear would be that they might be demoralised and not really be able to make it to all their sessions. So if I'm Tom right now, I'm not going to pick cabinet ministers with good reputations. I'm going to pick backbenchers who will go to every single session and ask questions right now, because I think the future for Labour just has to be a good presence in the next stall. And the same would go for the Social Democrats, and especially though for Fine Gael, which has the most to gain and the most to lose. But yeah, I think this is an interesting night. I'd like to thank Bio, our Nuctron. I'd like to thank Dean and everyone who made this production possible. I'm very glad we got an RTE stream finally. It took 14 elections, but RTE finally got its shit together. And I'd like to thank everyone else who followed and watched. If you have any other things you'd like to say, Dean, go ahead, but I'm signing off for the night. Go, Morgan.
Absolutely lovely. Well, there you have it. That is this month's election. We only get this every 2 months, unless, of course, the politicians in the electors decide to call a bloody another one. But hopefully that won't be the case. That's all from us over here at RTE. Obviously, thank you to the crew, Connor, Lynn, Blair, the cameraman, Sequatic, Bearrook, and everyone else here over at RTE, and the general public, and everyone who voted, because if you all didn't vote, this would be really boring. So, that is all from us at RTE. I wish you all a good evening, and I bid you all farewell.